And we must pray. See, you got to change the gangster mentality into a revolutionary mentality.
American prison culture influences American street culture. American street culture influences American popular culture. American popular culture influences global culture.
My name is Minister King X. Born and raised in Oakland, California. I was down for the last 18 years in the state. I did time in High Desert State Prison, in the Pelican. You know, I was still young. I was kind of wild. Got caught up in a lot of prison politics. 2011, I had went to the SHU in solitary confinement. You're stuck inside of a cage for 23 hours a day, no windows. It was torture. I fell right into the hunger strike. All the races came together. Everybody promoting peace. I was having dialogue with elders, and they was giving me advice for looking into the law book, and I mean that, reading and finding out more about self. And I started writing articles for San Francisco, Bayview, Prison Focus, and others alike. And when I realized and crystallized, okay, I found my voice, it's time to get involved, especially with the younger brothers on the yard, and they really didn't have no aim. One of the things that we did in Pelican Bay, under the Geysers Agreement to End Hostilities, we put together a self-help group, a peace program, to teach cultural genocide, so they can understand what does it mean to be objectively subjected to institutionalized racism.
We are kings, queens against genocidal environments.
It is not in our nature to be criminal.
And these are the people, these are very individuals that can contribute to society. We need lawyers. We need teachers. We need feasible programs going in. Don't just give them some programs talking about here's a certificate. No, we need things that's going to empower them through trade, through vocation. Make sure they got all the tools and the resources they need.
We need to start using our art as curriculum, whether it's the music, because back in the day, that's what hip hop was about. Hey, you know, this isn't just an individual thing. This is a collective. The primary focus is to fight the bill for brothers and sisters out in the community.
I was inside performing with No Joke Theater, and No Joke Theater taught me how to be a stage manager, how to be a director, how to be a better writer, a better actor. And I want to get the same curriculum that I learned to the youth. I want to teach them. Being a co-director of Prison Focus now, we utilize the plays to tell the story of stop mass incarceration, solitary confinement, et cetera, et cetera.
Organically, without nobody preaching to nobody.
The skill set that I learned in prison, I was able to bring it out here and utilize it, and it's profound because people are receptive to it. When I came home, you know, I was utilizing the prisoners' art to heighten awareness as well as try to do a fundraiser. I performed my anniversary of Oscar Grant, and I just showed up. When I showed up, they allowed me to get on the program after I introduced myself. They're gonna be utilizing me for Black History Month to go around and talk about, you know, the things I was doing with the culture. And I met a lady from the Oakland African American Chamber of Commerce doing some performances. I've been showing the newspaper Prison Focus. People are coming in, they want to get involved. Like I said, Mr. Fab, he want to get involved. He wearing the t-shirts. They want to know about the plays that we wrote. I Stand to Vote. San Francisco Bayview is promoting it. I could bring it in with all these hip hop artists getting behind our art and make it a better day. Step up to the podium, hit them all with your voter list. We demand a better God than this. All right, okay, all night, all day. I rock and wait, I rock and wait. Vote out again, vote out again. Democrat, Republicans, man, I had enough of this. Socialists and communists, do you know what our problem is? Too many ideologies. Guess what? My mama spit, same thing, my father flip. And I don't even feel prominent. When I'm wrong, they notice it. When I'm right, they undermine. 50
yards, I'm breaking wide. Take my flight to the green party. Change my life for key 3/4. 25 on Jerry's kids, cause I'm a black Israeli, yeah. And Jerry Springer don't never give. Buy you out with no promises. Universal, that's how I live. Government ain't nothing, bro. If you and I ain't the totem pole, vote out again. Vote out again. Vote them out, vote them out. Vote them out, vote them out. Step up to the podium, hit them all with your voter list. We demand a better God than this. Alright, okay, all night, all day. I rock and wait, I rock and wait. Vote out again, vote out again.
But you never detailed the focal points of that platform. What is it?
To shut slavery out of the territories and to establish large protective tariffs.
Voted out off the island, doing bad, he went back to grinding. Student loans and infrastructure, I'm coming home, get the engine revving. Buy a Chevy, be a fender bender, ex-offender. You're not in the bigger picture. Quality, that's justified. Freedom fighting at the borderline, separated by genocide. Little cage, we all gon' rise. Vote them out, vote them out. Vote out again, vote out again. Vote them out, vote them out.
I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay?
I stand the vote. 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 Democrat, Republicans, I done had enough of this.
They are not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy.
Hello, hello. Unmute. Unmute. There we go.
I should already by now. I am Gina Kenny with EPIC, ensuring parole for incarcerated citizens. I am the president.
And I'm Alexis Storrs, also with EPIC, and I'm the vice president. We welcome you in today.
We are. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Today
We're
we
out
welcome
the
you
studio
out
today.
Yeah, we aren't in tune today. Bear with us today, guys. Some unexpected things had happened today, which caused us to bring you Spreading Love Unapologetically outside of studio, in home, and across from each other instead of together. But we are together. And shout out to Bam by Any Means and Adjusting Lives, Healing Hearts, Gaylisa Carr. We are missing you guys today. Hopefully one or some of them may be able to join in with us on call today. We probably won't do the whole 2 hours today, but we wanted to come and update you guys on what's been going on for the week. We've had a lot been going on. A lot's been happening. We know that the trial for the police officer that killed George Floyd is going on. So I feel that that's going to create a lot more change for us. We knew it was a blessing in disguise last year. But now the facts are being put out there and the truth. So God bless anyone that has to take stand for that, because I've been watching it the last 3 days and it's been very emotional. Very emotional.
Yeah, I haven't caught any of it yet, but I heard a teenager took the stand. I don't know if he or she was the one that actually videoed or called the police on the police, is I think what was said. So yeah, I haven't had a chance, but I'm sure it's very emotional. I can't imagine.
I couldn't either. So I just wanted to start today with, well, first and foremost, the video we had just played prior to us coming in. I want to give a shout out to Cage Universal, incarcerated individuals who have been putting in a lot of work and art to kind of bring the conditions, the facts of the matter of, slavery still being extremely real here in the United States, with the exception clause. They can be found on YouTube. We had dropped a link to the YouTube earlier on. You can find them on iHeartRadio, Men King X, aka Pieface, PYEFACE. They have been very, very generous with letting Epic use their music. We've been using it during our rallies when we were doing the tour of We Will Not Be Silenced rallies, heading to the prisons in ODRC, showing them, showing the communities the realness of COVID and the fact that it wouldn't go away until we started, treating our prisoners as human beings. But shout out to Cage Universal. Thank you guys so much for giving us the absolute okay to use any of your music on any of our platforms. They have a lot of great songs, very powerful. So if you have a YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share their stuff. It's gonna take the force from the inside to help us on the outside get to the destination we need to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lex, what you been up to this week?
Oh, on a personal side, I'm still recovering from my surgery, going to physical therapy. So that's been a grind, but I'm getting there. And I'm getting ready to go on vacation for a week. So I'm excited about that. Other than that, laying low and finished up some Epic work yesterday and today. And
do you want to briefly discuss what you've been working on?
Yeah, sure. We're getting ready to get our proposal off to legislators to get a bill passed into law. And I was just putting together our intro letter and some facts. We have our proposal already ready to go. So we're going to blitz the House and the Senate. We have our contact list and we're ready to go. So hopefully within the next week or so, we're going to get that out and we'll get to getting some meetings going on and some movement with our parole reconstruction bill. So
no reform about it, because no reform.
So when you see us post about it, make sure you share, support, because it's up to us to really make a push for changes to our judicial system, to affect our legislative system, to affect those that are incarcerated under the Ohio Parole Board. I mean, we fight for everyone, but right now that was our focus pre-COVID, and we're getting back into that now. So we would love your support and in any, however you can do it. So and we've always been speaking that if you can't be present with us, like, share, donate, whatever you can do to help us make a difference, we would greatly appreciate it.
It definitely all adds up and it definitely helps tremendously. Yeah. There's a lot of work to be done. And unfortunately, gas money, Ohio's so big that, we were doing these rallies all throughout Ohio and we all personally put in our gas funds and stuff like that. But even still, typical organization, paper, ink, stamps, JPay stamps, it's costly. It's very costly to us. And we try to correspond with everyone and anyone that we can. And without the generosity and the kindness of our communities and those inside the communities, our work, it needs help. We need help. So with that being said, we'd like to quickly shout out Edwin's Restaurant for their kind donation to Epic.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, we received a $100 gift card, which we will be raffling off at an upcoming event. Right now, we are working on a couple of fundraising ideas. And we're actually putting together events. Warmer weather's coming. We are definitely ready to put our boots on ground. We're definitely ready to get out there and make some noise. Back to this, we will not be silenced because it's not going to happen. So please stay in tune with us, whether it be with Epic, Spreading Love Unapologetically. We're 3 organizations, actually 4, coming under the umbrella of 1 to get the work that needs to be done. There is definitely not one organization out here right now that could take the clout nor the fame for getting any type of change done. It's going to take us all in unity and solidarity to come together underneath this umbrella to ensure that real change happens now. I did see, Lex, if you wouldn't mind real quick, I'm going to ask for the address to donate.
Yeah, I'm gonna post it up.
Thank you.
I just have to get a business card out.
Appreciate it. I want to go ahead and also put out there, Epic had a couple very important meetings this week, and I'm extremely stoked and ecstatic. We've been working really hard on the Free the 13th movement. For anyone that is unaware, slavery is still very much alive in our 13th Amendment due to the exception clause. Basically, what we've been doing is collaborating as a coalition with Abolish Slavery National Network to abolish slavery, not just in Ohio, but throughout the United States. Max said today there's about 30 states that are in progress of having the 13th Amendment amended to where it says no slavery, period. And we here are the core team of Ohio for that collaboration. Yesterday, we had a great meeting, a very great meeting with Senator Cecil Thomas and his aide, Anthony. I'm extremely grateful for the time that they took out to speak with us. Cecil Thomas just recently, actually last year, he introduced the Senate Joint Resolution 5. Unfortunately, the General Assembly changed, obviously, at the beginning of this year. So he introduced it in the 133rd General Assembly. It had to be reintroduced into the 134th General Assembly, which is this year. After we had already scheduled this meeting, it was brought to my attention that days prior to him reaching out, telling us he had time to meet with us, he had already introduced the new legislation to abolish slavery once and for all here in Ohio. Right now it's titled Senate Joint Resolution 1. There's 3 different ways this can go. I don't want to put too many details out there because, like I said, this is still fresh in the works. It's going to take a lot of campaigning. You guys would not believe how many people are against abolishing slavery, because then they worry about, well, what happens with what happens in the prisons? Well, what does that matter? Slavery should have been abolished a long time ago. Mm-hmm. The fact that they band-aided it, it's time to take care of it and heal it. So we are definitely foot in the door with Cecil Thomas to ensure that we, in fact, abolish slavery here in Ohio once and for all. Today we had a meeting with Stephen Johnson Groove, amazing man. We've been on many Zoom calls with him. He's all over the place. But today it was personal. We got to sit down at during a Zoom with him, Max, and Abolish Slavery National Network board members. And it was just such a great meeting, because that was like the piece that EPIC truly needs right now with helping us ensure that this legislation goes as far as we need it to. That's going to be our extra push, our umph to the door. And they're definitely in full support of, first and foremost, freeing the 13th and of EPIC and our movement. Like I said, we've been doing the work for the 13th Amendment since last year. We rallied with BAM by any means downtown in Columbus by the State House. Didn't get the crowd that we wanted to, but I'll tell you what, there were many people, and Lex can vouch for me, many of people walking past us had no clue. And that's the problem. A lot of people do not know that the 13th Amendment still condones slavery.
Yeah, and we have to get the word out and get support behind it, because we need people to contact their legislators once we get this joint resolution in, and just call, email, whatever we can do to let them know that, as constituents, this is important to us, and, we need their support of it and to vote yes on it. So yeah, that's up and coming. And again, we can't stress enough, just to get in, even that part, to get involved could be just emailing, your rep or your senator. So, and
we excited. The form circulating too. I mean, that's the least you guys can do, is at least submit your information. We're not using it to spam anybody. We have a document going around, which was also posted at the beginning of our live. It's a document basically asking you if you're ready to abolish slavery. What we're doing with this database is, it is like a database to where when we meet with Cecil Thomas, we can be like, oh, okay, we have 50 people already on board. Next time we meet, now we have 150 on board. Basically, we're using this database so that when the true fight happens, we have those people that were ready to abolish slavery already. We're not harassing nobody. They said that they were ready to do this. That's the only thing that we're using this database for, is strictly for this movement and this movement only. So please do not feel afraid to submit that form. That form, the information, your email, your name, it's going absolutely nowhere except for to Epic, so that we are storing database already. It's just like signing a petition, basically.
Yep.
It's easy enough. If you can't donate, you can't show up to support, submit that form, please. Because I'm telling you right now, I've been checking it, and the responses are going up and up and up. But it's been circulating for days, and I feel like it should already be at 100 responses. So just remember, we see who is and we see who isn't. And if you are team, we need you guys to submit that form, please, and thank you.
And if you're unsure of where it's at, like Gina said, it's here. And then just check our Facebook page. It's posted up there a couple different times.
For you guys, yes. It's on every single platform Epic has. It's definitely there. I'm going to go ahead and drop it in the chats one more time. There we go. All right. So right now, where does SJR1 sit? So we just introduced it on the 17th, on St. Patrick's Day. And right now it is waiting to be introduced into the chair committee. So right now what we're trying to figure out, right now, Ohio has a lot of the budget bills being introduced and going, obviously, because they're on a time crunch. So we have 2 years to get this legislation going. Do we want to wait that long? Absolutely not. We want it on the ballot for November. So right now what we're trying to do is find out if and when this bill is to be introduced. If they're trying to put it on the back burner, obviously we're going to need pressure from the citizens to email the chair and let them know how important this legislation is to us and how quick we want it to be introduced. And then it goes to the second committee, which is the proponent side of it, which is where we will need everyone to mass mail written testimonies. If you can show up to be there to testify on behalf of SJR1 freeing the 13th Amendment, that's where we're going to need most of the work as well. And then after that is the opposition. And then it's like a 5-step procedure. So just like any bill, like everyone used to always ask about our proposal, it takes a lot of work. And if you don't know how the Senate and the House work, like it's kind of like basketball. It's a back and forth thing. They could have 5 meetings. They could have 1 agree on it, pass something. But it's definitely going to take us, we the people, to ensure that this legislation passes, period. Because I'm telling you right now, I watched the introduction. I should have probably pulled that up for this live. I watched the introduction last year when Cecil Thomas introduced the SJR 5. And the House, the person that was speaking for the House basically already showed me what type of opposition we're already up against. People would not believe how many people are truly against even just fixing the 13th Amendment because they feel slavery's already been abolished, but it hasn't been. Read it. That semicolon is there. It's noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
Read it.
How can you not? Like, how can you not know that?
There's no denying that slavery is extremely real.
Right.
So we've got the Google Sheet going with the sign up for helping us be the solution and abolishing slavery and the 13th Amendment. We're not trying to get rid of the 13th Amendment. We're just trying to take out the exception clause. So we have upcoming events and raffles coming. We will definitely get our website, which is www.epicxteam.org, updated with the events coming. I do know for sure, if you want to mark your calendars, August 20th is tentatively the date set for the National Freedom and Justice rally, which we partook on that last year with Janet Lee. We will be partaking again this year for Ohio. Also, Wrongful Conviction Day, date never changes, October 2nd. We will be rallying outside of Cuyahoga County Justice Center time to be determined. And we will also be doing another window campaign during that as well. April 14th, special guest in studio, which I'm extremely excited about. This is Alfred Cleveland and his wife, Roberta. They actually have a book. I actually shared it today. They just published a book for those that are incarcerated, or those who have a significant other incarcerated, and how you deal with your relationship. It's available on Amazon. I just ordered mine. I can't wait for it to come. I feel like there's a lot to know when I've been doing this journey for quite some time now, and there's never enough to know or learn when it comes to having a relationship with someone that is in fact incarcerated for decades and decades and decades. It doesn't get any easier, believe me. T-shirts. We've got Spreading Love Unapologetically t-shirts for sale. $25 for small to large, $27 for anything larger than a large. I said that right?
Anything above a large.
Yeah, anything above a large, $27. You can email us at spreadingloveunapologetically@gmail.com. There's also a form going around for that to order your shirt as well. We are looking for sponsors for Spreading Love Unapologetically. There are different tiers. If you're interested, please reach out to us and let us know. Basically, we need a lot of support right now. Between just this umbrella right here with all of the organizations working together under one umbrella in Ohio, we have a lot of support. We have a lot of correspondence. We have a lot of contacts. However, we need more than just the data, okay? We need the funding. We need the sponsors. We need the likes, the shares. We need the publicity.
Yeah, and I feel like we try to drive that home every time, we're on, or every time, we post or whatever. And if we could just get, I don't know, half of even family members or formerly justice involved people to just jump on board with us. We're not looking to, like we always say, we're not looking for any type of clout or pat on the back. We're just looking to really make a difference. And it would mean the world to us if we can get some other people behind us. We'll do the work regardless, but we'll be so much more powerful and impactful if we can have, a big group of support. So we're going to keep saying it until you
our numbers
until you contact us, until you get involved. We're going to keep saying it. So
we're going to keep harassing. What else can we talk about, Lex?
Trying to think. I don't know. I'm repping Comma Club today.
Sailor.
This is Ruel Sailor's clothing line. My story ain't over yet. Check him out. He's a wrongfully convicted exoneree out of Cleveland, and we're happy to always collaborate with him and support him. And
just open up a shop downtown. It's I believe not downtown, but Eastside Cleveland. Just open up a shop. So go get your Comma Club gear.
Yep.
Sailor and his wife Amy and their beautiful daughters, all 7 of them. I think there is 7 or 8 of them. No boys, just Ruel.
I'm trying to think what else. Oh, we're also trying to keep close watch on the Ohio Revised Code and the Ohio Administrative Code changes. We may have mentioned it on our last broadcast before. There are so many rules that are set to either change, be amended, or add new. And for those of you that aren't familiar, the Ohio Revised Code and the Ohio Administrative Code are what the laws are, what rules Ohio, what governs Ohio. And You'd be surprised. Like when I first became involved in advocacy work, I'm like, I didn't even know these things, existed. There's so like, even down to like, I'll use farming, for example, like there's laws that, govern that. There's just so much. And in the administrative rules, all of the Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections is 5120. So if you go to the website and punch in 5120, you'll see all of the ARs that are there. And these are rules that get presented or get ruled on by JCAR, which I always forget what they stand for. Gina, do you forget too, or can you help me?
Yes. Hold on.
I don't know. Justice.
Joint Committee. Hold on.
Either way, JCAR, they also hold public forums or a chance for the public to give testimony on these changes. EPIC was involved in one last year on an AR dealing with nature of the crime for parole hearings. Unfortunately, we were not made aware of the revised meeting and it got passed. The verbiage didn't change much. We've gone into detail about that. But these are things that we can make a difference on. If we keep a good track, good watch on it, we'll post it up. Things that you could read for yourself. You can do written testimony, get with us on, what our ideas are about it so we can all be on the same page. But we can't let these administrative rules get changed without trying to have any input or to make a difference. If it's something that we don't agree with, we're entitled. We're entitled to voice our opinion on that. Now, whether they change it or not, at least we tried. At least we know that we put forth the effort to oppose or even support, whatever, but we're usually on the opposition side, and that's okay. But we're trying to keep a close watch. There's so many, Gina. What was there, like 211? I think something like that. So I'll admit I haven't really been on there much, but we have to tackle what is affecting our criminal justice system and our prison system, and do it justice for us, do it justice to keep an eye and to help. So you'll be seeing more about that. Take a look at JCAR. Gina posted the link in the chat, and just look for yourself. You can set up alerts on there for certain rules, what's the word I'm looking for? Certain topics of anything that you're even interested in, even if it doesn't have anything to do with, criminal justice or corrections, anything on there that you can get alerted when stuff is going, put forth for the changes. So we're also keeping track of our bills, stuff that's affecting what we're doing. And you can also go to the ohiolegislature.com or .org, I'm not sure which one. And you can also keep track of all the bills that are getting introduced or in committee or passed or wherever it's at in the process. Like Gina said, it's a back and forth thing. And, it's not as simple as being heard and read in Congress and then boom, it's being passed. There's a lot of intricacies that are involved, whether it goes to the committee in charge, it'll go back to, the body to, revise it, agree on it, go back and forth. So that's also a good way to get involved in as far as like trying to look for yourself on what interests you, what you're passionate about, what you can possibly be a voice for. It's been eye-opening for me. Like I said, up until probably a year and a half ago, I didn't know this kind of stuff even existed. And I didn't know the process of, getting a bill passed into law, and what the intricacies of that involves, and everybody of all the people that are involved in having to get that done. So take a look at both of those things. Join us as we keep an eye out on the administrative rules, the revised code, and also the bills that are getting shuffled around in the House and Senate.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, before you even started talking about legislation, I was going to say that's another thing people need to make sure that they're also searching and checking, which I'm in the process of dropping the link. An easy link. How do you check our legislation in Ohio? But it's very important that we stay in touch, stay in tune. Nothing's going to change unless we make noise about it. And even, when we do make noise, sometimes things still don't change. We just have to be persistent, keep applying pressure, and just get louder. We just have to. There's no backing down. There's no stepping away. There's just too much work to be done. It's not going to be an easy process. It's not going to be it's just not. It's not going to be easy. And it's going to take a village. It's going to take every single collaborating effort here in Ohio to come together as one. Instead of, we all have our different agendas, like just here under this umbrella, which I support BAM and I support, Adjusting Lives, Healing Hearts so much, Gaylisa, because we all have different agendas, but we're all in the same path to the same destination, whether it be, criminal justice reform, whatever. We're all in the same path to bring real change, and we don't let it interfere. Like, our agenda is a little different than obviously by any means, or by Gaylisa, she's a reentry group. We don't let it conflict us at all.
We complement each other really well, in what we're trying to do.
We actually have a great force of ladies just right here with Spreading Love Unapologetically. I could not be any more thankful for, the coalition we've built, just our own personal coalition. I'm really excited for our future endeavors. We've been doing really great together. And I feel like more so than ever, our change is coming very, very soon. So,
and just to piggyback on that a little bit, I know we have a big part of our organization and other organizations that have loved ones or friends that are incarcerated, or justice involved. That's what we're liking to say. So check me when I don't say it. But don't shy away from being a part of what we have going on just because you don't have somebody inside. Everybody's affected by incarceration, whether it be your neighbor, a teacher, somebody at your church. So don't feel like just because you don't have somebody to be a voice for, you can still be a voice for people that don't have one. There's many people in prison right now that don't have a voice. They don't have family. They don't have friends fighting for them. So be that person, even though you don't know them. You can be that person for them, to speak up and speak out. So don't shy away from getting involved if you don't have somebody on the inside.
You may have a connection that we're unaware of that could be very beneficial to this work. You might even have a friend that might be suffering, and because a lot of people who are affected by incarceration and do love someone on the inside, I do know a lot of people kind of keep that private. Like, they don't broadcast that to, their neighbors, their friends, or anything. And it's unfortunate. It really is, because if you learned how to cope with having a loved one incarcerated and being able to express that, you'd really come to find out there's a lot more people that are like-minded to that circumstances. You know what I mean? Like, and I've known it because I've known a lot of people, even before taking my journey on extremely serious this last time. A lot of people that have loved ones incarcerated don't talk about it. They don't, I got a phone call from my, so-and-so. They kind of just keep it to themselves. And it definitely makes it harder to cope with without having support. I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would have done, period, especially this last year, if I did not have the support system of Epic, of BAM, of Gaylisa, of, my husband's family, my family. Like, if I did not have this support system, I really don't know if I would have been able to stand strong for my husband and continue to be there to fight for him. I think I would have crushed a long time ago. Being by yourself, it makes the difference. So if you're affected by incarceration, don't frown upon it. You need to talk about it. You need to let people know. I mean, you would you'd be surprised how many more people were just as affected as you were, you know? So it's all about educating, empowering, embracing, and educating, you know, and that's our biggest mission, honestly. Anything we're doing, anywhere we go, embracing, empower, and educating.
It's kind of like the mental health. It's a stigma. It's kind of like mental health issues. You know, people that don't like to talk about that, whether you have mental illness or you have a family member that has mental illness. Same with incarceration. You know, there's a stigma involved with that as well. And like Gina said, you know, I think there's more people affected, even as it trickles out, that there is that isn't. Did I say that right? Yeah. For example, you might, you know, for me, you know, it's trickled out to, like, I have a huge family, especially on my dad's side. It's trickled out through either my Facebook posts or just talking with somebody. It's trickled out so far through my whole family. It's ridiculous. So even that, just making people aware could cause compassion, could cause empathy, could cause feelings and your heart to change about that. And you might not have thought about that before. You might have had a certain feeling or certain prejudice towards people that have been in prison or that are in prison. And, you know, just sharing, you don't have to share your whole story, you know, but you can share bits and pieces of who you are and how it affects you. And you would just be surprised. I mean, we preach all the time, just like Gina said, you know, if you can just change one person's mind or get one person to help in your cause, we're doing our job. And let it trickle out. Like I said, let it trickle out. Spread love unapologetically, and, you know, we can get it done. So don't be afraid to share. You know, if you need support from us, reach out. But it's definitely
brought tears in my eyes because, you know, I've been telling these girls, for anybody that I talk to, you know, they're like, this is hard. You know, it's hard to persuade someone. It's hard to make somebody like-minded. And, you know, and I've always told people, like, it is an extremely hard battle. And a lot of the times, like, I have a guy on the inside who seriously calls me the little fearless girl from New York, the little girl that went up against the bull, you know. But somebody's got to do it, right? But like I said, as long as you could persuade, like Lex just said, persuade one person a day. You'll never know how many more people that one person is going to persuade. Mm-hmm. If you can persuade one person, even just the slightest bit, your job's done.
Yeah, you make somebody go, oh, I didn't know that. Like that.
Like the 13th Amendment. A lot of people don't know that the 13th Amendment still, in fact, condones slavery. Slavery is extremely real, not just here in Ohio, but across the United States, in every state except for 5. That's sad.
Very sad. Very sad.
So, I mean, we are willing to do all the footwork necessary here in Ohio, even if it is by ourselves, but we know we ain't going out by ourselves. We know that we have a lot of support behind us by any means. Adjusting Lives, Healing Hearts, PAPS Ohio. There's so many other great organizations that have been reaching out to us recently. Fresh Starters, Abolition Apostle, I believe it is. We just did a ZAP campaign with them. National organization, their chapter is just now starting in Ohio. So, you know, of course, they reach out to us, you know, and we have no problem assisting, even if you're at the bottom trying to come up, teaching, collaborating, because rallies this year, we're definitely going to need more than just a handful of people showing up. We're definitely going to need power in numbers, organizations, not just one, but organizations coming together in unity and solidarity and showing people that, look, we need people to listen. We need the right people to listen. We're not going anywhere until someone does. So it's best for them just to compromise with us, period. That's how I feel.
Yeah, just come together. It doesn't have to be any major power struggle or whatever people think that it has to be. You know, it's not. We're all adults and we all can work together to make things happen. Yeah, our rallies this past summer, Gina, you know, I was discouraged. You were the one, let's go. Like you had the speaker and mic and I'm like, Gina, nobody's going to show up. But you know what? I'm glad that we were persistent. I'm glad that we did it. There were a couple locations that we did have, a few people come out, but it feels good to feel like you're making a difference, whether anybody hears you or not. But when we were, doing the We Will Not Be Silenced rallies, we were in communities and we got people to look at us like, hey, what are you doing out here? We had
home, stopping, bringing us Gatorade, bringing us water.
Yeah. We had that guy when was it? In Marysville came out. There was a development right across the street. And we talked with him for quite a while. He's like, wow, I didn't know that, so that's kind of our thing, but I'm excited for the spring and the summer, and getting out and, boots on ground, like Gina likes to say, boots on ground, just to, make a difference. Make a difference. I want to get in the state house, around the state house more this year.
Yeah, we will be lobbying. Like I said, we do have our own proposal for parole reconstruction. It's seriously like this close to being sent out. And we're going to do all the work that's necessary to get someone to recognize us, whether it be taking the proposal in full or breaking it apart, compromising and coming together. We need guidelines in our parole system, period. We just had the Senate Bill 256, which, if you're unaware of that, that was a juvenile bill that was just passed and signed by DeWine back in January. It should take effect soon. They said end of March, beginning of April. I know I checked my husband's and his time is still stating the same natural time, but patience is a virtue. But that bill means absolutely nothing until they implement guidelines, period, in the parole board system, because you cannot tell me that just because this bill passed into law, that the parole board is going to take into consideration that they were children and not the grown men they are nowadays. Because we already know that in order to be flopped by the parole board, they're flopping by now it used to be nature of crime. Now it's by the extent of their crime. Judges already convicted them on their crime. So why is the parole board continuously getting away with flopping these individuals? And some of them are getting super flops. When I say super flops, 10 years. First time hearings, 10 years. Right off rip. Right off rip.
And just because, like you said, just because of 256, that just means that our juveniles are coming up to see the board quicker. It doesn't mean a release. It doesn't mean a favorable hearing.
Mm-hmm.
It's giving them a chance at it earlier, but that doesn't mean anything. Like Gina said,
I honestly feel they'll continue. I mean, they did set the guideline where juveniles cannot be flopped no more than 5 years. Normally it's 10, but to me, they're still going to get 20, 30 years out of these guys. It's going to be 5, 5, 5, and 5.
Yeah.
So it's really sad. We have people in Ohio that were convicted before 96, 10 years to life, 15 years to life,
2021.
And they're still, in fact, incarcerated.
Do the math. It's not right.
We just had, actually, let me shout out Eileen Slack, which I can find her proper name because she is out of ODRC and she ain't going back. I was in contact with a family. We really started advocating for the mother right before COVID, more so when COVID hit, because that's when we were pushing the judicial reforms and stuff like that, the reprieves. And this woman touched my heart. Her mother, she had never met outside of incarceration. She was a baby when her mom went in. Unfortunately, the woman who was convicted was at a grocery store. Her boyfriend committed a crime, shot at an officer. The officer shot back. Both the officer and her boyfriend were both killed in this incident. She was the one to get charged for the murders. So she was incarcerated 1994 on a 15 to life sentence. She just made parole just made parole, finally, since 1994, a few days ago. I just got an update from her daughter. Unfortunately, her daughter lives out of state, so it's going to take some time for them to be able to reunite. But Eileen is staying with her brother and some family. She got a cell phone, obviously. She's 70 years old.
Yeah.
It's sad. And
what adjustment too? Like, I think about old law. I think about men and women who've been in for decades. What an adjustment it's going to be when they come home. They're going to need a lot of support, whether it be familial, friends, outside sources, reentry programs, all of that. And it really like touches my heart when I think about it. And, I get teary-eyed sometimes. I'm a weeper, so I cry all the time, but I get teary-eyed, especially for that population and also for wrongfully convicted people. So I'm glad to hear that she's finally free and she's home. And God bless her. And I pray that she has a well-adjusted life,
I hope she lives to see 100. I mean, she's taken from her. You know what I mean? It's just, It's super sad. Tomorrow's obviously not promised. So I was just happy to, it's funny because when her daughter had reached out to me, she was actually brought up early for parole. So we remained hopeful, which, like I said, so did Tommy Pander. And look at his situation. He ended up flat 3 years. So we didn't want to get our hopes up. I kind of wanted to make an announcement when I found she was granted parole, but we know how that happens. They could be granted parole, and then days later, the prosecutor comes, opposition, revoked. So when I checked DRC, I knew she was being released on the 29th. When I checked DRC and seen that she was released, I was like, yes. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, she's outside the gate. She's outside the gate. Like, she's really free. Yeah.
Ain't no taking her back. And I actually go in a couple of weeks to Belmont to pick up, he's like a brother to me. We've grown to know each other as a brother and a sister. He looks up to my mom as his mother. He's been in for some while now, wrongfully incarcerated, took the charge for his kid's mother, hasn't been in society for almost 8 years now. And I'm extremely excited to get him home and be able to work with him myself, because if he didn't have me, he'd be lost. And that's the thing is they try to put these men and women in halfway houses, and the minute they're walking out the door, there's drugs, So how do you expect somebody to rehabilitate themselves, giving them this halfway home, and it's also there for them to to return right back in?
I'm happy for your family, G. I'm excited for him to come home. That's awesome.
Now I just needed to be my husband.
Man, your lips to God's ears for all of us. Yep.
Okay. We're not going to go ahead and do this until 6 o'clock. Lex and I just kind of wanted to make sure that we had some type of show to bring to everybody, spreading love unapologetically. We know that this week was a little unusual than normal, but we are right back into next week for sure. Lex won't be with me in studio, though. Unfortunately, she will be on vacation, living her best life.
Living my best life, but I'll be returning the following week. Hopefully, I'll be able to make in studio. I work. I'm going back to work, so you might see me sneak in a little late, but I'll be back.
Shout out to Gaylisa, our host of Spreading Love Unapologetically. We miss you, woman, and we hope everything is okay with your way, and we are praying and sending you nothing but love and comfort. Tamara, she just came back from Florida, and actually she was in all kinds of other states too.
Yeah,
she was living her best life as well. Tamara, we're going to give you another week or so, and you're back to work too. And then Miss Teresa's probably busy with her fingers in some heads right now because she is fabulous. But we appreciate everyone showing up today, watching us. We appreciate the love, the support. Keep it coming. Stay tuned. Epic, BAM, Adjusting Lives, Healing Hearts. We've been up to a lot of things lately, trying to put a lot of things together as well. We can't do it on our own, though. We really can't. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for events. Stay tuned for fundraising events. Stay tuned for the rallies. Stay tuned for everything. As soon as we can get the information put together, we will definitely get it out there on all of our platforms. We are looking for special guests to come into studio and talk about anything incarceration. If you're interested, please reach out to Spreading Love Unapologetically or any of us individually. We will make that happen. Like I said, April 14th, we have Alfred Cleveland and his wife Roberta coming in studio. Larice Glover is actually an upcoming guest as well. And then I'm working on another special segment as well. But yeah, stay tuned, guys. Make sure you're sharing, liking, commenting. Stay in touch. Lex, any last words?
No, I just hope everybody has a blessed Easter and enjoy your time with family if that's what you choose to do. And I won't brag too much about my trip.
Have fun.
But anyway, yeah, we'll see everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
I just want to throw out there really quick that if anyone is being discouraged about visiting their loved ones, we do know that the prisons here in Ohio are slowly but surely opening back up. Yes, it is a very uneasy visit, but I encourage you to please just take the initiative and go see your loved ones. You never know what type of sensation you can give them. I know for my husband and I, after 524 days of not seeing each other, it was everything to us. Even though we weren't able to hear each other, we were between plexiglass. We had to have masks on. So we had to see each other smile through each other's eyes. Just being in front of my loved one, though, definitely took that separation out of the equation and definitely took the distance out the equation as well. Being able to see him in front of me in full, no black eyes, no busted lips, he's healthy, he's not starving, he's all in the same condition he was when I last seen him, definitely meant the world to me and to him too. So please, if you have loved ones that are incarcerated and you're debating the visits, I get it. If it's 3 hours and you have to drive, it's not worth that hour. I'll give you that. But if they're close, don't do it just because you feel like this is the way they're going to keep things. Because let me tell you, we the people will make sure that this is not the way we are forced to see our loved ones. It is not right. But unfortunately, it's their terms and we just have to kind of, deal with it for now. But they can't get away with it for too long. Vaccinations have been going around. My husband's 37 years old, was just vaccinated last week. So they're going around, they're giving the incarcerated people the option whether they want it or not. Whether they take it or not is solely their own personal opinions or however they feel about them. But I truly feel that if we can get a certain percentage of these prisons vaccinated, we will open back up soon. That's just how I feel.
It's just a matter of time. I believe the same thing too. I do. And I know it's a rough call to make. And there's stuff going on in the world too, talks about a vaccination card to be able to do certain things. And I know people have different opinions on that. Personally, I'm not getting vaccinated at this point in time. But when it comes down to it, if there's things like visiting or being able to travel, I may consider it for selfish reasons. But if they're going to push, and I really don't see that happening on a world level, but who knows? But if the ODRC pushes for that to happen, I don't know how they can I don't know if that would have to be a rule or, introduced.
We're going to be watching. So even if they try to sneak it in.
Right. So I don't know. But knowing Gina, I know she was excited and waiting to see her hubby, and, her energy is up. I'm sure his energy is up. Even though you weren't able to touch or feel each other or even hear each other well, it could make a difference in both of your lives. So like she said, try and get there if you can. Most of them are, like she said, most of them are opening back up. So we're getting there. We're getting there.
We are definitely getting there. If they're calling you, accept their calls. You never know what's going on. If you have an incarcerated loved one, right now is the time to definitely be there for them. you can only stand strong for so long. That's all I'm going to say.
Right.
They definitely need the encouragement right now. They definitely need the embracing, the reassurance. They need all of that. No classes, no programs, no none of that. I could never imagine. I could never imagine. And sometimes I give my husband a little too much credit. But at the end of the day, I try to put myself in his shoes, and I don't think that I could ever remain as humble as a lot of them do, because they do. And of course, these are the same ones that are being deemed not fit for society.
Yeah.
If they haven't crashed yet.
I think they're pretty right. I agree.
So yeah, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Stay in tune with us. Thanks for another great show of Spreading Love Unapologetically. You want your shirt, get in contact with us. We're looking for sponsors, donators. Like I said, our team for Epic, we just collaborated with our advisors and we're going to do some fundraising events soon. We were actually discussing a cookout too. I think that would be fun. An appreciation.
Yeah, that would be.
Probably end of summer. We also discussed a yard sale. So if anyone has anything lingering around the house and you just want to get rid of it and donate to a good cause, we'll take it.
We'll take anything.
Yes. We would like to have a yard sale. I don't know if we're going to, I want it to be a huge one. So I'm not sure if we're going to do it this year or put it off till next year. But we have a date already in mind, a location. They do a street yard sale twice a year, Labor Day and Memorial Day for the weekend. So I think that would be a great opportunity for us as well. And yeah, stay tuned for those rallies because we need y'all. Every voice counts. Yep. Everybody matters.
Gina's going to pass the mic. She's going to pass the mic to those who want to. Me, you know me, I don't get on the mic.
I'm starting to get too old for it.
Whatever.
Seniority status.
Whatever. You're never going to stop that. But yeah, looking forward to it.
Me too.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks. What's that?
No tour this time, but we definitely are going to have at least a handful of rallies set up. Make sure that we're making our presence present, and making sure that people see us.
Yes. We wrapping up?
We're wrapping up.
All right. Thanks, everybody, again, and we'll see you next week. For me, 2 weeks.
Thank you guys for tuning in to Spreading Love Unapologetically. Bye.
Bye.